welcome back to another episode of Red Hill Racing Podcast. I'm Ben Knight here with your co-host Dustin Lee. What's going on, Dustin?
Just chilling. We just now recorded a epic episode.
Man, I can't wait. We think everything went fairly smooth. We might have had one or two minor cutouts, but it's three of us on, internet, whatever, intertube. So
Yeah.
you'll have that. But it's the first time I was recording from my garage shop, and I don't think I had any issues on my end. So I was excited about that. I was a little concerned that we were doing an interview and I'm chancing it, but I think everything went well.
I think it went well. Everybody sounded pretty good. I heard a couple of them little skips, but nothing serious. I think it's going to be pretty good entertainment for people to listen to. And I guess we ought to mention the guest.
Man, we had both Chris and Big Kountry on tonight. More Mafia in full effect. Chris Moore, Alex Moore, aka Big Kountry. Man, we could have talked to them I actually wanted to keep talking, to be quite honest.
Yeah, we got an hour in, a little over an hour, and it went quick. It went, but there's so much to talk about because
oh my goodness,
there's so many things. Like, I mean, hell, just for the example of what kind of racing itself that Chris does, there's a lot of it. And then, Country hasn't been as active in the racing, as long as Chris has, because Country's being Country, doing other things through his life. But it was very good. Like, we had him on there talking about his season a little bit. And then, of course, Chris, explains what his plans are and what he's got going on. And, he's a very busy person. Like, from just talking about what, all the stuff that, and you'll hear it here, the work that he does and things that he's got going on. Dude's got like 7 jobs. Let's just be real, and
I mean, I'm with you 100%. Call it hustle, whatever you want to call it. Call it just a hard ass worker. And I know, Big Country is too. I just, there's going to be haters everywhere. So I know there's some haters, but damn, they're hard workers, man. I mean,
it
that's
was
like
a
you said.
good talk, man. Which, I've personally talked to both of them at the racetrack and stuff, and we've always got along fine. So it went just as good as me and you talking, you know what I mean? So it was a good show. I think people will like it. Fair warning, there was some curse words, so it's, if you got virgin ears.
This is NSFW. Nah, this was definitely probably the most pirate sailor episode yet. But man, we were loving talking with these guys, and I don't know. I don't feel like you and I are usually trying to. I don't know. I guess we try not to be crazy.
It happens,
but
we
just
but
got excited. I know I did, and I talk like a sailor 100%.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, these all can't be perfect, because none of us are perfect. So
yeah, but it was really us coming through. There's some excitement. There's excitement.
Yeah.
So not safe for work, not safe for the kiddos. This one's got some explicit content, but we're excited about it. Like I said, I want to get them back on whenever we can.
And there was a whole lot of information. Like, that was clean, good. There's some bombs in there, but like, there's a whole lot of good information just about, what Chris does and what Country does, and what Chris has done and what he's, trying to do, and what they're both trying to do. It's going to be a good show. I hope people like it. Just something a little different. Won't be long, man, and we're going to be at the racetrack, and we're going to have a whole lot of other things to talk about.
For sure. I'm just excited. I guess I'm so excited about this interview just because there were so many questions, and like I said, that some of them we didn't even get to that I wanted to ask both those guys. And just been following them for a long time, and just to see what they've done. In my opinion, they're really helping to. Not just motorcycle drag racing, but motorcycles in general. They're really pushing it to the forefront, and that's great for everyone. That's good for our sport. That's good for motorcycles in general.
Well, let's just be real. Anybody that, roll races or, races in Mexico or goes to the local track or goes to national events or regional events or whatever they do, it's all motorcycles. And that's what matters. We got to keep the motorcycle world rocking, and, we're always a little smaller than the car guys, but I guess you can go with quality and not quantity on that part. For sure, it was a lot of detail on all angles, and he is definitely a supporter of the bracket guys like me and you, and he's also helping out the guys that just street ride and helping the guys that full blown building grudge bikes. So there's a lot of information there, and of course he uses and parts that with our Red Hill Racing podcast supporters and parts that me and you use personally. You know what I mean? So he
Oh yeah,
uses
yeah.
good stuff. So
Yeah, for sure. We think it's a good one, but you guys will let us know as you always do, and we appreciate all the feedback that we get. That's always nice to hear. Usually, but it's
yeah,
we keep sending us the feedback. We got to shout out our sponsors and all the support we've been getting, and we'd like to welcome the one and only Worldwide Bearings to the show. We got Mr. Dave Conforti and his awesome company supporting the podcast, and man, he's supported you and I both for years, hasn't he?
man, one of the best people ever. Like as a person, he's 100% great, and then his product is even better.
He
So
stands alone. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
there's
I
no
mean
even question about it. So
everybody that's anybody has worldwide barons somewhere. You know what I mean? And I mean that's just he's an asset to our community, and I'm stoked that we're allowed to even have him involved in our little deal here, the Red Hill
yeah.
Racing podcast. And I'm tickled to death that he does what he does for me and you and a lot of other people, and having great products. And I'm Hard Times Parts and Service for sure love selling his stuff because he is a very good business to work with.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So shout out to Worldwide Bearings for joining the party. MPS Racing, Penske Racing Shocks, MTC Engineering, Platinum General Services, Manchester Mines. Oop, got sidetracked. Montgomery Motorsports, Hard Times Parts and Service, Night Marketing Group, Energy Coil, soon to launch University of Wind, and BMF Components. Man,
I
we
don't
got a
have
bunch
no
of
I don't
support.
have no cheering sounds because my phone's dead. But woo,
Oh, woo,
yay!
yeah. No, we appreciate all these companies that have jumped on board and like we said, donating prizes, gifts, just supporting keeping this thing going, So shop with those companies, patronize them and it's good for everybody.
Yes,
Um
sir, for sure.
Man, I'm so excited. This is totally unscripted. I want to give something away right now. This just show has me excited, man. I'm amped up.
I think the giveaway's next week, right? You
I
said three
know, but
weeks.
I know, but I want to give something away tonight. I'm gonna pay for it. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm gonna do, and this is totally unscripted, and Dustin will verify it.
Yeah, I had no idea
I'm
this was
gonna
gonna happen.
buy two Hard Times Parts and Services T-shirts to a lucky winner. That's what about $50 value,
Yeah, they're
60 with shipping.
25 bucks a piece. Yep.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna do it, man. I know I didn't tell you about this. I'm so excited. I want to give our listeners something. So as always, for as little as $1, and you're welcome to donate more, subscribe more. I mean, you can visit us on our Patreon page and subscribe, or redhillracingpodcast.com and shop around and get you some hard time shirts and get a subscription. And as long as you pay $1 a month, you get entered into these random giveaways. So
Yeah, we had someone sub up today, and they went on the Red Hill race. They asked for a link. I sent it to them, and they just had to add one, dollar to the cart, but he added three.
yep,
You
yep.
know,
And he's
so
on the list for tonight. I think that's part of the reason I'm so excited. I just got to give
yeah, I
something
mean,
away.
hey, I didn't even tell him that he could add as many as he wanted. He just done it on his own. He just, took it upon himself, and we appreciate it. We've had other people. We had somebody, I think, was it last week, toward the end of the week, send me some money, and then I forward it to you and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So keep on subscribing. It keeps us running. And yeah, I'm going to give away two shirts of their choice from you. Can you see my screen? Did I share it?
Yep, I can see it.
All right. We're up to, let's see, 3 through 52 is the numbers. We're gaining them.
Got
We're gaining.
got
We
forty
appreciate the
nine then,
support.
right?
I don't know. I'm not doing math right now.
Yeah.
uh, let's see. That's right. Correct. All right.
Yep.
Here we go. Dustin's verifying it.
I'm watching it right now. It's generating 42.
42. I don't have a full name on it. And damn, everybody's donating $1.
Well, hang
um,
on. I think I know that email. I don't want to say the email on here because
yeah,
it might.
let's not say that. We don't want to spam somebody,
Um,
but
that looks familiar. Hang on a minute.
Dustin
Let
may
me just.
find it. Oh, the is it one? So the screen name is like 1XPB. Is that
That
Mr.
is
Farmer?
That's James Farmer, peanut butter. That's
Nuh-uh.
exactly who that is. Yes, sir. James Farmer
Man.
won 2 shirts,
Wow.
which is a
Okay.
super duper loyal customer of mine. So that's very cool that he won 2 shirts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And just
Yeah.
as little as $1 a month. So he just won, by the time I pay for the shipping and everything, $60 worth of merchandise.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Congratulations.
we'll work together on that. We'll figure it out. We'll get him 2 shirts. That's what matters. So
Well, I got to stand by my word because you bought those shirts, so I'm going to pay you for them. So,
Night Marketing Group and Hard Times Parts and Service will take care of him.
yeah, working
So
together, working
that's
together.
that's right.
All right. Well, hey, as Dustin mentioned, that's an extra giveaway. So we appreciate the support. Keep subscribing if you haven't yet. It keeps us rolling. And I don't know, you have anything else you want to talk about beforehand, or you just
Man,
want
I
to let
just
them
hope
listen?
everybody. I hope everybody enjoys it. There was 4 of us. I mean, they were on one line, and then me and Ben are on our own. But it was we done pretty good. There wasn't a whole lot of talking over each other. Chris is very good at like timing that stuff, which don't surprise me. Everybody, I think they're going to enjoy it. I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed talking to them, and we had a good time. A little bit of laughing there. Um, look, this funny stuff that we always talk about as friends, and then a lot of really good information about what Chris and his team does, and Big Country does. There's enjoy the show. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I think they'll enjoy it. Let's just say I'm sure 95% of anybody that's listened to us knows who that is and knows who Chris is and More Mafia is. So they're going to be able to relate a little bit, and that's what people want to hear is something that they're familiar with.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
just
just kind of like a throw it out there oddball thing that people probably don't even expect us to do. Honestly, we didn't even expect it to happen. It happened like that.
literally
So
in like 16 hours. You
yeah,
and I were
yeah,
talking about Chris the other morning, yesterday morning, in fact. And, we had talked before, like, hey, we need to get them on, and that'd be
yeah,
cool. And so I just like, you and I got done talking, and I text Chris and I was like, hey, man, you probably haven't seen because you're busy and you're a celebrity now, but like Dustin, I got a podcast, love to get you on. If you have time, let me know. He's like, when you want to do it. And I was like,
yeah,
well, we
yeah.
usually record on Mondays and Tuesdays. He's like, how about tomorrow? And I'm like, oh shit. All right. I gotta get to work.
Yeah. So I mean, it's another side. Chris don't just grudge race, of course, but he's well known in that area. So we're bringing a little bit of a grudge racer into the podcast because we might have grudge racers listening. We don't know, but realistically, he's not just that, and you'll hear it here. There's a lot of things that he's been there, done that. Man, he's legit a good bracket racer. He's been there and won stuff too. He just don't do it because he's busy. And you'll hear it, and I think you'll enjoy the show. Just again, there's going to be some language. We all done it, and I think it's a good one. I think everybody will enjoy it, and I mean,
That's it.
enjoy.
Is that
That's
it?
it. Yep.
Man, I'm mad you didn't have any sound effects. Your phone died, but that's all right.
Yep. Yep.
Man, if like I know we keep saying it again, but I hope y'all enjoy this one half as much as I did doing it. And I want to get them guys back on. And yeah, enjoy the show, guys. Here's more Mafia, Chris Moore and Alex Moore, aka Big Country. All right, Red Hill Racing Podcast back again. We've got another interview tonight, and it is a double header. We have the whole Moore Mafia crew here tonight. We have Chris Moore and Big Country, along with me and your co-host Dustin. So, welcome to the show, guys. What's going on?
What's happening? Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. And
We
it's
got
me,
the
Big Country.
we got the dynamic duo right now in here.
That's right, man. I've been telling Dustin, I was like, man, I want to get you guys on here, and I just hadn't texted you yet, and I texted you what yesterday, Chris, and you're like, yeah, when can we do it tomorrow? I was like, oh shit, all right, let's do it. Get on it. Not wasting time.
We enjoy doing stuff like this. It's always fun.
Yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, we're gonna have a good time. That's for sure.
Yeah, so let's just get right into it. I mean, how did let's start with More Mafia. Who came up with that name? Like, how did y'all figure out the perfect name, More Mafia?
So actually, Alex, Big Country, came up with that. Him and his friend in high school. You know how when you're kids and you just have like your team name or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They more or less just started calling themselves More Mafia, And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And then of course we started doing it with the racing, and next thing you know, we just kind of took it and ran with it, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's known worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure, worldwide.
Yeah, you couldn't come up with a better one there. So kudos to
Oh.
Big Country on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pretty much take credit for that. It seemed like,
You're getting your royalties, right?
oh yeah, me and Chris got to still talk about that.
The
Well,
cool
look.
part about it is where it's more, you
Oh,
guys are
yeah.
always trying to go more fast, or, more nitrous or more boost or whatever. Like your
More
last name,
entertainment.
yeah, for sure. Like their last name suits them, like their activities is,
It's just a more better name.
yeah, everybody just wants more,
Man, I kind of want to. So probably most of the listeners obviously would have heard of y'all. I mean, way more recognizable than me and Dustin, that's for sure. But for me and Dustin, the same. We've kind of grown up racing with y'all and following you guys and everything, and then just like probably the last 2 or 3 years, you both just really started hitting the YouTube and the everything, anything related to social media, and have literally exploded. I mean, I think Big Country has 50,000 Instagram followers. You have over 120, and then 100,000 YouTube. So just kind of, if you don't care, let's walk the listeners through, what was the light bulb moment and why did you start, really pushing that way?
So I actually had a customer came in the store one day. I just like Facebook or whatever, whether you use it or not, you've got a YouTube channel.
Right.
And of course, me being in my age generation, I mean, I had a YouTube channel, and would occasionally look at it, and would like some videos, or and then I would post some. And usually when I would post them, it would be like, I probably posted like 5 videos a year, and it was just because it was too long to send to my friend to show him something. You know what I mean? That I did at the track. It wasn't like I was really pursuing YouTube. And so, anyways, long story short, a customer comes in the shop, and he was looking at getting some parts, and his friend was with him, and he said, "Man, go ahead and get it." He's like, "You just got your YouTube check," and I'm like, "YouTube check?"
Oh shit.
I was like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Ah, well, I have a YouTube channel and I make videos," and he's like, "YouTube pays you from them," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." I'm like, "I didn't know that," but I was like, "Whatever." And next thing you know, he just kept rattling on about this YouTube check, and I'm like, "Dude, I hate to be nosy, but like, how much can you get from a YouTube?" And he's like, "Well, this month I got like $7,000. I'm like, $7,000? Holy shit!
Changed my life.
Yeah, I'm like, holy cow! I'm like, this is more than a normal job, And I'm like, I was like, dude, how can I get a fucking YouTube check? I was like, so anyways, he's like, "Oh, you just got to have, meet a certain criteria." And so I was like, "Man, I was like, I've had YouTube forever. I was like, can you look at my channel and just show me what I got to do?" And sure enough, I was already eligible to be monetized because I already had like a couple thousand subscribers, and like, or you only had to have 1,000 subscribers, I think. And I had 1,700 or something, and I've literally had the YouTube channel like 10 years,
Right.
And
yeah,
so
I'm guilty for following it, because I remember an old video at Piedmont where you had they tore your bike down or whatever, checking the clutch.
Yeah.
I've watched that video a dozen times. Like, it's the best video ever. It's old school.
Yeah, it's definitely funny.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I was like, man, sure enough, I was eligible to be monetized. He clicked all the buttons for me and helped me sign up. I literally went and bought a GoPro and a new laptop that night. I'm like, dude, fuck it. I'm in. I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And we had a race that weekend. And of course, me and Country and BJ, we all hit the road, and I'm fucking videoing ourselves at Applebee's, and, feeling like an idiot, vlogging, I guess, for the first time.
Right.
It's got to be weird at first, for sure.
It's definitely super weird. I mean, you feel super awkward. You stutter, you think about,
Yeah.
You just try to think of what to say, and it just feels really weird,
Yeah.
and because you're of course worried about what you sound like or what you look like, or did I say this right, or
Right.
And anyways, I just started doing it, and the first video got a couple hundred views, and next video got like 1,000 views, and I'm like, man, this is, it was growing. And I think the first month I got like $100. And
Damn, that's pretty
I
good
was
though for the
like,
first month trying.
first month. Yeah, for sure. And it kind of took off quick because I had a bigger following on Facebook. A lot of people knew who we were. They just didn't know it on the YouTube platform.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically I just had to get the drag racers from Facebook, the friends I had already accumulated, just get them to that platform. And I started doing that. And the next month I got like $300, and it just started growing from there.
And then it went.
Yeah, so it got bigger and bigger, and you kind of hit a wall with it. You'll go to getting, let's just say, every video will get 2,000 views, and then every video will get 5,000 views, and then all of a sudden it'll jump up. Now they get 10,000 views, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But the main thing is you gain a bigger, solid audience. In other words, they're not like they're just a one and done. When you get the subscribers, that means the guy likes you enough to want to come back and watch it again.
And it don't cost them nothing.
It doesn't cost them a penny, and they can enjoy the content. And a lot of people will get hooked on the stuff, binge watching the channel. And now we've got I've got a big video database. So if somebody discovers me today, they may go and watch 6 hours of more Mafia videos, right. All the older ones and stuff like that. And they enjoy the dynos. And for me, the dynos are just everyday work. But to somebody that's maybe new to motorcycles, they're steady absorbing all the knowledge,
Yeah, personally, I love the track days. Like your dyno ones, I'm like, I guess because I've been around it my whole life. I'm like, but the racetrack ones, I love them. I watch every one.
And of course, and that's how I feel too, because I'm just at work. So it's like, you know what I mean? But like
now, sometimes when it's a bike I'm interested in, I check it out. You know what I mean?
Like it's cool to see what a new so-and-so makes,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the cool thing I've done so many of them, you can go back and compare bike to bike to bike, and it's all on the same dyno. So, because every dyno reads different.
Yeah.
So people really enjoy that. And, so we have a little bit of the racing, we have a little bit of the dyno, they can learn a lot. And then we have the entertainment side too, where we just goof off and have some fun.
Yeah, those are always good. But the dyno thing where you use the same dyno really leads to something else that you offer. That's ECU flashing. Like people can really see, what the ECU flash that you do does.
That is correct. So many of the bikes that we have today, and when I say that, I mean like, let's just say 2016 and newer. A lot of the bikes, they technically have a governor on them from the factory. So the things are restricted so much. You buy a new 1,000cc bike, and it's a 2023 model. Well, it doesn't make any more horsepower than a 07 or something right out of the box. You know what I mean? The restrictions in it are crazy. Well, you can spend $300 getting your ECU flashed, and now the thing picks up 40 horsepower. So it's a no-brainer for everybody. You know what I mean?
Something that they don't realize is like the first new bike that you actually tune, you probably spend a whole week trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. When we get a new model in, I'll have a day or two in learning that new machine, And then after that, when I start, once I post it, I'm the first guy that tunes it, then everybody floods to me. And next thing you know, I've already tuned 15 of them on the dyno when somebody else hasn't even done one. Well, I've already got such a large map database. Honestly, no one else can compete with us,
Yeah, and then it just fine tunes it. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone you do, you just get better, until it's maxed out.
Correct. Yeah, you learn a lot from each one of them. And then a lot of them, you get in there, you stick the flash in when I'm on the dyno, and we got 2% correction. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's such a small amount.
I know back in the day at the shop, like, you have a dyno appointment scheduled and they want a nitrous tune up and they show up and there's always like something mechanically wrong with the bike and it becomes a repair and you got to fix that before you can even do what you plan on doing.
Yeah.
Like,
and
that's the part that sucks,
And me, myself, I've got away from all those. So I don't do anything over 10 years old. I don't do any nitrous bigger than a 75 shot. which is, a lot of people think is crazy because we do race bikes myself, but I'm like, I'm not in the race bike building business. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
I
you
mean,
want a 200
75 shot can scatter anything. If you ain't careful, you got to be careful with it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, for sure. But I'm not
yeah.
trying to tune, a bike on M5 with a stock ECU. Like I'm just, that's not the customer that.
The time it would take, it ain't worth it. Like you got to value
Exactly.
your time to dollars. I mean,
Exactly.
it just works out to where if you can rush through, or the ones you've done verify that you can do, and you do, let's just say a 17 GSXR. Well, you've done got that baby locked in. You know exactly what it wants, and give it to it, and then just fine tune, and you're done.
Sure.
But you
And
paid your time.
most of the dyno tunes I do, hour and a half max. That's all
Yeah.
they take. Where if you have a '07 1000 comes in with a Shinko hookup and a 75 shot, fuck, it's 3-4 hours,
Yeah, no
Man,
doubt. Yep.
I don't miss those days. Chris, you touched on it there for a minute. Tell everybody what your actual day-to-day job is, or currently. Maybe you're getting ready to retire from it soon.
No, no, no. So I do a lot and I have a lot of helpers. And by that I mean employees. So I run a motorcycle dealership.
Yep.
In other words, we do parts, sales, service, dyno tuning, a little bit of everything. But of course, I have to make sure everybody's doing their job correctly. We do a lot with online part sales as well as in-store part sales. We have motorcycles that we sell and ship all over the country. We build a lot of brand new bikes. So I've got currently 7 2023 GSXR 1000s
Holy shit.
that are all getting brand new builds. In other words, swing arms, exhaust, shifters, ceramic wheel bearings, just your basic. Let's just say you want to go and run street ET. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fully prepped race bike / street bike that someone can go enjoy, and technically they get it and it's going to have 0 miles on it.
Just owning a dealership is a full-time job, let alone all the extra. You know what I mean? Like you have like 7 jobs.
Oh yeah, maybe more than 7, but yeah, it's definitely a full-time headache. And then of course I do all of the ECU flashing. In other words, no one does those for me. You know what I mean? I
Right.
see and do every single one of them. And then of course I do all the dyno tuning as well. Now I do typically 1 to 2 dyno tunes a day.
That's
and then
insane.
of course the ECU flashing is an all day, every day deal. And I have 2 to 3 computers running at all times, flashing those basically simultaneously.
Baby's
That's
burning
wild.
the midnight oil, boy, I tell you.
That's it. And
wild.
then of course my wife, she helps me with all this stuff. So she is kind of the back end of the More Mafia. She does the website. She does the YouTube video editing. She does all the shipping and receiving for the ECU flashes. She does all the dyno appointments. She really, really does a lot.
It takes a team, man. And
It does, yeah.
meanwhile, Country, he's out there looking for something else to ride.
I'm just out here fucking shit up, dude.
Hey, I want to ask Big Country. I honestly have no clue what Big Country does. I mean, I don't know if he's a stripper at night or what. What do you do for work, Big Country? Can you tell us?
Depends
Can
on
you
how
tell a
much
listener?
money you got.
Hey, that's what I've always told people. I said, you pay me enough, hey, I'll do it.
Oh, I'm not getting into that. Yeah.
So I have a waste oil company, and
okay.
so I have trucks that go out and they pick up used oil from automotive shops, dealerships, quick lubes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like that. And we process it and make basically refined fuel oil for asphalt plants.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome. Hell yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to be into for
Something a
sure.
little different, has nothing to do with motorcycles at all.
Well, and then you got your new YouTube channel, so you kind of have like a little side hustle going on there.
Yeah. So I just started about 3-4 months ago putting it together. Chris I seen what he was producing and getting from it, and I'm like, well, heck, I might as well piggyback with you and get some of these subscribers that you got and
Hell yeah.
have some fun. I'm out here doing the same stuff, having fun, and honestly doing a little bit dumber stuff than he does.
Hey, I've watched them, man. It's all good. I subbed up. I always support my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Shoot.
absolutely.
If I can
So
click a button and help you out, shit, I'm in. You know what I mean?
I
That's just the
kind
way
of
I roll.
take on the role of being the rated R side of the market. He's the information. I'm the entertainment.
There you go.
That's all right.
That's a perfect pair.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all know, like at the grudge races and even the videos that Chris posts, you know, you are definitely a part of the entertainment in the videos, talking a little trash. You know, like for me, that's the best part. You know, and I love that shit. Like Chris handles the stress of a big grudge race better than a lot of people. You know, there's a very select few that can handle it. And then you're over there just like stabbing away at the guy he races, and I'm just like, man, like you can watch the other racer crumble a little bit. You know what I mean? But that's part of this, right?
Gotta apply the pressure. That's grudge racing.
That's right. Pressure bust pipes. You know,
we're a hell of a team on that stuff. We get into it. We actually were in a race this past Sunday, and I was like, all right, dude, let's do what we do. Like, come on, we both got to do something here.
Yeah, was that when you raced the young kid, right?
Yeah, 12-year-old kid actually, and I knew. Yeah, dude, he's 12 years old. He's like 80.
He can ride though. Yeah, he can ride too.
No, he's good. Yeah, this kid is gonna be somebody big someday. And
I seen the video you posted up. I'm like, oh man, like I know what's up right here. This is real deal right here.
No, dude, he rips, and he's good on the tree. He leaves good, but I'm like, man, because the bike that I rode, I never got to make a shakedown pass or nothing on it. You know, that was the whole race. Chris can ride, but he don't get no pass. You know, so I'm like, I never sat on the bike or nothing. I never even seen the bike until that day. And
that dry hop was valuable right there.
Yeah. So I did that dry hop on it and let her rip. But we got out there and I left on him and got out front. We got to like half track and I seen him. I'm like, oh fuck. There he I was like, I'm about to get drove around.
Man, being a fat guy racing, that's my life story. Like I can, you'll leave and you'll run out of their life, and then here they fucking come every time.
But he drove it out of the groove. Just the kid did. He drove out of the groove just a little bit, and it hazed the tire. And I was actually able to beat him out. But it was a very, very close race.
10 years, that kid's going to be dangerous. Like
that's exactly what I said. Yeah,
he's out there grudge racing for money every week right now.
I know. When I come up there for the Hogs Gone Wild, he was there making passes. It's awesome. I like seeing that. I know that some people frown upon like young kids or whatever at the racetrack, but let's be real. That's how we all started. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean that's how you. I mean, if it's a dirt bike in a field at your house, that's how it starts.
Yeah, this kid, he's good too.
Yeah, I've seen it for sure. He's got didn't he have like a little 600 or something he used to race, or 750?
He's done had a bunch of bikes. He really started on the KTM, like a KTM 450.
Yeah. Yeah, he can ride for sure. So when I seen that race online, like I'm like, oh, that's a real race. Like that ain't just a test. I knew that he was on an equivalent motorcycle, and I knew he was super little. Yeah. And I was like, man, like, this is kind of like you racing against Big Kountry. Like the weight difference, Now I noticed Country, he losing some weight, looks like. So it might not be as bad as it used to be over there. The brothers race each other, but in the past, I know all about being heavier.
He's got a new ride that's been working it off of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. that's leading to one of my questions for Country about what's up with the boats and hose.
So the boats and hose program, at least half of the program there is on hold, I guess you'd say. The boat, she's still good to go, but all the hose is gone. Big Country's a lot up in right now.
That's all right. Sometimes you find that one motorcycle or ride that you like.
Hey, I got a good girl, and she's everything I want right now. So
there you go. That's what's up.
Work out for me.
That's what's up.
But it is getting summertime, so the boat's about to come back out. I'm gonna have a bunch of videos and stuff of it this year. So 540 cubic inch big block Chevrolet with twin 76 millimeter turbos.
Oh, that's a dead trap.
Got Holly EFI, everything, E85. Probably should make 1400 horsepower.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, and
So that's like, that's golden for YouTube content right there. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah.
That's awesome.
How
Like,
many
you
people does this boat hold?
So it's just a two seater. So it's
Damn.
basically set up like a drag boat. It's set to
Yeah.
go.
Well,
It'll go over 100 in 600 foot, 0 to over 100 in 600 foot.
Water
we're
is
screwed.
scary shit. Water is
Yeah.
scary, man. I mean, you know, but for those that don't know, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, country, but I feel like when you're going on water, it seems twice as fast. So if you're doing 50, it seems like you'd be doing 100 on the road. And if you're
So,
doing 100, damn, you'd be doing
well,
200 on the road.
people they do get kind of confused or caught up in the mile an hour with water. Water speedos are usually way off. But I mean, it's actually GPS this, and you can take the advice from someone like Chris, who's had fast cars, fast bikes, everything. He's tell you my boat's one of the fastest things he's ever rode in.
Scary, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're sketchy. 100 miles an hour in a boat is damn.
Yeah,
That's a
they're
lot.
like, oh, it's just water. Yeah, it's hard at that
Nah.
speed. You know what I mean? I'm out.
You don't want to come out of this thing.
No, for sure.
Yeah, that's
well, we know we
sketchy.
can't ride in it because you settling down a little bit, and we know who's going to be in that seat. So we
You
get it.
come, you bring the beer, you can ride with me.
Oh, well, if we can make that happen.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah,
I was
that's right
worried.
down Ben's alley.
Yeah, I was worried. Tonight's the first night I'm actually at my house recording, and my office is only like 3 miles away. It takes me 5 minutes, but I'd be coming home after Dustin and I record, and then the dog's waking up Tiffany and the baby and blah blah blah. But the bad part is, I don't have to go anywhere, so I might, some of these podcasts could get real soon when I start cracking into the cold.
That's when Darnell comes out. We call him Darnell when he gets there. So,
y'all seen Darnell probably running around the racetrack at
oh yeah,
1 in the morning.
Yeah, everybody has. I'm sure Chris has seen Darnell for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we know that Chris Moore can go fast, but something a lot of people don't realize, but I've realized that by watching your videos, Chris Moore can bracket race.
I'm learning, I guess.
Oh, come on. So I've watched you ride the little white Gixxer, and I've watched you, make passes. And of course that bike's deadly consistent, but I've watched you like react to full tree and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, he can bracket race. I can just tell the way you ride and the way you act, the way you react to everything. And
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure that you've done it.
I've done it. Actually, one in Antigua. My video hasn't came out, but they had a bracket race there.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
See what I mean?
I've done it. They used to have a big race here at home at Greer called the Red Cross Race. It was always a big deal once a year. I've won it several times. I've won a lot of them over the years, but I mean, literally, I started doing it when I was 12 years old.
Right.
And
So like me and Ben, we bracket race more. I mean, Ben's heads up race a little bit, and I really, the only thing I ever do heads up's index racing. But they have their own difficulties. Like bracket racing has so much more than riding versus, if you're going 230 on a no bar bike, that's its own kind of challenge. You know what I mean? Like the biggest job for your no bar bike would be realistically a lot of pressures on the tuner. Making sure that he don't hit the wrong key or whatever to make you, about flip or whatever. And then bracket racing, we got to worry about where homeboy's at, where homegirl in the other lane, what's going on with them. It's got its own challenges, but I've watched you on YouTube, of course, and I'm like, oh man, he can bracket race. Like Chris Moore has bracket race plenty.
I've definitely done it a lot over the years. And like I said, have won plenty of races. But I never stay. I guess the reason I don't do it at XDA is like when I go and I'm riding the big bikes, I just
You're too busy.
I'm too busy. I don't have time to go make the passes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your fast bike is a full-time job. You know what I mean?
It is a full-time job. And a lot of times I bounce back and forth from bike to bike to bike. Yep. And I never ride the same thing or keep the same thing long. So I never really get to practice full tree or whatever. But I mean, I've definitely, like I said, I've probably done a full tree about a 1.5 million times over my lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, but at the big stuff like XDA, you did dabble a little bit in super stock for a season, I think. And you was busy with that. And you was busy with Pro Street at the time. And then I think Big Kountry was running Pro Street. So there wasn't really time for just playing around. You know what I mean?
It takes a lot of it takes a lot of consistency and everything as far as putting in the effort. You're not going to just jump on a bike and go out and run Dustin Lee or Ben Knight at every
Well,
day. I mean, that's just not the case.
I don't know. I've seen them new guys rack me a few times. It happens. You know what I mean? So
it happens, but to go out there and win, I mean, you got to put in the dedication and effort. I mean, you guys are, really focused on doing that at every race, and that's what it takes to win.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they all have their own dedication and challenges. Like, a heads up guy, he's trying to find ET, and I'm just trying to find the spot on the tree. You know what I mean? So the difference is their own challenges. I mean, you guys got to cut good lots too, but if you got plenty of ET, you don't have to worry about it as much as a bracket race. It's vital. It's very important, but it's just awesome to see that, Chris Moore, of course, everybody knows who it is, and fast stuff that he does. I see the bracket racer there, and it's just cool to see because a lot of the greats can bracket race, and that's kind of where we start at for sure. Because that's kind of like the stepping stone. I'm just too fat to step off the stone. I'm stuck there.
Get you in heavy hitters with a turbo.
I definitely feel like, Jeremy and Richard, all those guys, Ricky Gadsden, all of them, and they definitely can get on in bracket race and win. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I just feel like, just because you look at us on the top of the shelf now, going fast heads up, doesn't mean we didn't start somewhere and work our way up the ladder. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I didn't become a quote unquote professional rider the first time I got on a bike. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, a lot of your customers are guys like us. You know what I mean? Like
of course. And that's why I have my drag race school.
Exactly.
That's what we teach there, the fundamentals and the basics. Yep. A lot of the people that come through my school, they're not drag racing pros. It literally may be their first day on the racetrack ever.
And I've watched those videos, and I've watched each rider improve. So I know you're doing a good job because I can watch the rider from their first pass to their last pass, every video, and see improvements. So I'm like, sure. he's getting these guys out there, and then myself and Ben is going to have the University of Win, which is kind of like a bracket racing school. So we're going to let you teach them how to ride. And then we're going to hopefully teach them how to race.
I teach them the basics and the fundamentals, and I teach them what it takes. And then I also speed them up at their own pace. In other words, I don't take somebody that's scared to death going 720s in the 8th mile, and I don't try to push them to go in a 6.0. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a dangerous combination. Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
It is. So if he's comfortable going a 720, I'm going to push him to go a 718.
That's right.
And keep it and build his confidence as he goes.
And I know like most people that ride, and I'm sure you've kind of got that way too, even though you've rode some of the fastest stuff. At some point, once you ride something so long, it don't feel fast anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that your bike feels fast every pass, but there's a line there that you can draw that's like, after you do it 100 times, it's not fast anymore.
Sure. And I tell them, I say, or I tell sometimes we have younger people there, and I tell their parents, I say, okay, he needs to ride this until he tells you it's slow. When he says it's slow, then it's time to speed up. But if he makes a pass and you ask him, just say if he didn't see his time yet and you got his time slip, you ask him, how did it feel? Did it feel fast? If he says it felt fast and it was slowest pass of the day, he's still not ready for where he's at.
No doubt.
Yep. He says if he run a 6.0 the pass before and he run a 6.20 that pass, and he's like, yeah, it didn't feel good that time I bogged when I left. Okay, now this person is learning really what they're doing, and they understand where they're at.
Yeah, getting that feedback. If you can get that, you're getting somewhere. That's
correct.
That's all good stuff right there.
For sure. Man, Chris, switching gears a little bit, maybe this was just me, but I feel like, first street bike in the 5s, I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't blown up as much as it should have been. I mean, did I miss something or what? Tell me about that whole thing. Were you guys even trying to go that fast? I mean,
we were not really trying to go that fast. If you'll watch my YouTube video, when we roll up to the water box, they come over and ask me, they said, hey, are you going to go 1/4 mile with David? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's let her rip. And so literally BJ had no tune in it for the 1/4 mile, no nothing. So she was a ripper through the 8th, and after that it was just kind of like just kind of riding along, you know what I mean? Like, it was fast, but it wasn't like bobbing the tire in 5th and 6th like it normally does when we like really get after it,
Mm-hmm.
Like he had the boost capped. Like normally we just fucking let her eat whatever it'll make out the back, it'll make it. And we didn't do none of that because none of that stuff was planned. So
I
So
think the
what do you
biggest
think when you?
thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say. So what do you think? Who got the ticket first? You did.
So Brian Salts, he's the one that comes and picks me up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was down there with David Fondon, and me and him are good friends, and we were talking. And I said, David, I said, I think that was a 5-second pass, buddy. And he's like, "Oh, Bobby, you 5 seconds." I was like, I'm pretty fucking sure, dude. I'm like, I think that was it, And then of course Brian, he turns the corner, on the scooter, and you can see him. He's just like, what, just literally flipping out, And I'm like, fuck yeah, that was it, I already knew.
Yeah.
That all I had to see was that big grin and smile, and he was got cheesing from ear to ear, and I saw the slip, and then I immediately just showed it to David, and he's just like, holy fuck, dude, And of course, it was a no time event. We didn't have time on the scoreboard, and
I mean,
that's when the haters come out, right there.
That's what I was going to ask you, Chris. Is that why? I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I know you guys did the great video. I did watch that one and everything, but I just feel like the whole drag racing world as a whole didn't really grasp it. Do you think it's because that it was no time and they're just skeptics and haters, or what?
So some of them did, and then of course you've got the well, so and so did it. They just don't show their time.
Fucking bullshit.
Let's be real. If somebody did it, they gonna show it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I got friends in the grudge world, and of course let's just say CJ 400, for instance, and I talked to him, and I'm like, CJ, I'm like, look what this motherfucker did, because I mean, CJ, he's like me. We could watch it, and I could tell you how fast it's going within a couple numbers. You know what I mean? Like, you just seen it so many times,
Yeah.
And of course, I told him, and he's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot if you don't tell. Show that stuff. He's like, dude, that's history, and nobody could ever take that away from you.
100%.
Like, that's insane.
I mean, as far as I know, there's been bar bikes trying to do it for years, and they still haven't done it, except like Larry, Top Fuel. Like, there's been Busa powered bar bikes that couldn't do it. They've tried, the tires are coming loose, and then you get Chris on a no bar street bike with, a drag max, and right down through there. It's crazy.
And that's what, and truly, we feel like we can go a good bit faster too. Because I've got another motor with a tall 6 gear in it. Cause it was on the rev limiter from 5.7. It was on the soft cut limiter from 5.7 to the finish line.
Wow. I mean, technology is just so crazy now. Like it's made everything advance so quick.
That tall 6th, and then really getting after it in 5th and 6th gear, the thing will go some pretty serious numbers,
Yeah.
Like I said, that was just kind of my perspective from outside looking in. Like, I really thought, the whole little world of drag racing would have been way more up in arms, excited about it. So I don't know. That was just my input. Yeah. And to me,
we got pretty big response out of it. You know what I mean? We picked up a lot of new sponsors from it.
Oh, well, that's good then.
The YouTube video did extremely well. Jack Corpella's YouTube video did extremely well on it. Jack is the only one that'll really cover us. Dragbike.com. They personally don't like us.
I can relate.
which is okay by me. You know what I mean? I'm not. If they like us, cool. If not, I don't need them to post anything. My name is bigger than theirs in the media world anyway. So,
well, realistically, man. So, like, you got to be who you are, and if people don't like you who you are, it is what it is. Dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way I try to be people's friend, but if they don't like me, I'm not going to fight for it. It is what it is. Just roll with it.
The guy from Tom McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's one of Dragbike.com's writers, and he was all over it. He loved it.
Yeah.
And he came down, verified the time slip, saw the time slips, showed him like 5 more time slips where it backed it up in the 8th, and he's just like, holy shit, dude. He loved it and ate it up.
Well, he knows the history of the sport so much that he realizes what you did. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, but there's certain other people that just could not believe it. Fucking haters. And they called Cecil. They called Tyler from Virginia. Verify this. Verify that. Verify this. And the only thing they could say was, Well, damn, you know.
Well, look, I mean, to me, I'm not in the grudge world or anything, but to me, like, believing it wasn't that hard. Like you can just, I mean, plenty of pro street racers post their times. You've posted plenty. Like you can kind of get an idea that it's not hard to fathom, I don't think, but I don't know.
Well,
That was just me.
we went a 630 with a zero at 73 inches.
Right.
Melania's 81 inches. So to think that we couldn't pick up 3/10 off of that 7 inches of wheelbase, you know what I mean? 8 inches of wheelbase, you're just lost in the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I kind of cheated on that because me and you are, we're friends and we've talked about times that you've run before grudge racing to the eighth. So I already knew. Like when that come out, I'm like, oh yeah, he finally aired that baby out because I done knew what it was running to the eighth, and it didn't take much more to get it there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
And I had some people, blowing my messenger up because I believed it and they knew I believed it. And like, well, how do you know? I'm like, well, for one thing, personally, you showed me. And then, well, maybe it was Damien that showed me. Somebody showed me. But I already believed it before that because I seen your front halves and you've told me your front halves. So I was like, it's real. And they were fighting me. I'm like, look, man, if you don't believe it, don't believe it. I said, but I'm telling you that motorcycle definitely could do that. Like, it's not a doubt in my mind.
100%.
And there's a lot of them out there that can, and a lot of them just ain't tried. And you're finally the one that laid it on the table and did it. You went out the back door.
A lot of them don't have 6-speed transmissions either.
Exactly.
So don't let a lot of them fool you and think they can do it.
Yeah.
Well, they might can if they had more parts, but
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean,
the ones that can are definitely out there trying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if they had, we would have known about it. Correct. I mean,
for sure.
Just like you, when you done it, I was like, they gotta post. Like, I wouldn't post the whole slip, but I would damn sure show the last end of it. You know what I mean? Just to show them that it's happened. And they don't know what you run to the eighth. It could be a back half of the machine or it could be a front half of the machine. That's really something they got to get in their lane and pay to find out, and in your class. Now, if grudge ever dies out, Chris Moore's going top fuel, baby. That's just what's happening.
We've been fishing around trying to find one to have a match race this year with a top fuel Harley.
Yeah.
And I can't find any of them ready to sign up.
Yeah. They don't want to get outrun by some guy on a street tire with no wheelie bars. You know what I mean? So
that rides it through the pits after he goes to the winter.
Oh man,
street bike, baby. That's where it's at. Everything's changed so much.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get Big Country on here. What do you got planned for this year? Anything big?
Yeah. So I got the turbo bike that I ran in Pro Street. I've made a bunch of changes to it and gonna do some grudge stuff with it. Like you said, noticed I've lost some weight, so I'm gonna try to play with Chris and them a little bit with it and just see. I think in that class, consistency is honestly more key than ET.
Yeah. There's times that you just got to make it down the racetrack to win. You know what I mean?
Those real fast bikes, they're not always the winner.
Yep. Yeah, I know that for sure. I've got some good friends I've seen some really fast tickets in the 8th mile, but sometimes they try to go that fast every lap and it gets them. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter if it's bracket racing, grudge racing, pro racing, spinning ain't winning.
That's right.
He wins races no matter what it is. And so for me, that's my goal.
Awesome.
With that motorcycle this year. Might potentially run some heavyweight stuff with the nitrous bike. I still have the American flag bike.
Oh man, I love that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it just kind of got shelved because the turbo gave me so many problems. I think we finally got the turbo figured out after about 2.5 years of.
Now we're going to still see some stock wheelbase at Shadyside and Greer and wherever you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a brand new 23 GSXR 1000 that I've been playing with, stock wheelbase, and racing Chris with his different brand stock wheelbase bikes so we can compare them and make good content for showing people the difference between those two bikes or those 5 different bikes.
Yeah, there's several of them. The old R1s out there sound like a gurgling machine. It's still fast, but man,
R1's impressive.
Yeah, it really is. It's fast. It's cool to see.
I like the sound of the R1s. personally.
Yeah.
I just got a long arm for the R1 that's going on here in about 2
Oh
weeks.
Lord, here we
Yes,
go.
I'm coming gangster now.
Yeah, first R1 in the force.
Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna go into fours, but I mean,
Well,
I think.
just bring back that 75 shots you talked about earlier. We good.
Oh yeah, we put the gas on it. Yeah, to definitely do it. But I think I'd like to see it go some 830s, 840s, in the quarter, which would be pretty fast for R1.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh,
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Chris, man, you're back on. Tell us a little bit about. I mean, I know we don't want to keep y'all all night, but man, I want you to kind of talk about I guess not a transition, but just the jumping into that roll racing down in Mexico. Like, how did that happen? What's it like? I mean, is it as big as grudge race? I mean, I feel like I've seen some pretty big cash exchanges on some videos and IG posts and from other people as well. So why don't you give the listeners a
Yes.
little bit about that? Because I know it's funny. Dustin and I, after probably the second episode, we had a guy. He might have been from Canada, but anyways, we were amazed because Dustin and I just figured, well, we'll just get a bunch of bracket racers listening to this. Well, hell, we had some guy who said he was street racing and was considering getting into drag racing. And he was already listening, so we were like, wow, that was impressive to us. So maybe touch on that for a second.
Yeah, so the roll racing, I wanted to get into that. It was something different. And I guess you would say the biggest thing that attracted to me that is that so many people do it. So drag racing is tiny compared to roll racing as a whole,
Right.
because basically anybody with a motorcycle and a straight road can go roll race their buddy. And it
A
doesn't
lot less rules too. They got the freedom of doing what the hell they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you don't got to wait till Thursday night when the track's open, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just roll out there. If the traffic's clear, let her eat. Now, not the safest thing, but it is what it is. Okay. In other words, I'm not promoting that. I'm just telling you what we do.
Right.
That's a box turtle away from getting hurt really bad. One turtle in the road, it's game over.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, like I said, it's got its ups and downs. But the biggest thing with the roll racing is, like I said, there was a lot of people doing it, and I was like, you know what? Let's go try it out. And it was a learning curve for me. I did have to learn a lot of new things in drag racing that don't apply to roll racing. In other words, what is correct for a drag bike is not correct for a roll race bike. And
Yep.
we learned a lot of stuff there. And it took me quite a few times of going and doing it. But man, we really had a good time with it. Really enjoyed doing the roll racing. The audience is huge. So in other words, once we started doing it, the following started picking up even more. We have a lot of fans, a lot of customers that do the roll racing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
You
just,
got to touch all those bases. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for what I do, I target every single market. In other words, just the drag racing world is not big enough.
no,
So I try to grasp the motorcycle world,
Yeah.
not the motorcycle roll racing world, not the motorcycle drag racing world, the motorcycle world.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you
I wanna
target the
try to
world. Exactly.
I want to try to get a little bit of everybody,
Yep.
because not one market is just big enough.
No, I mean,
And
that's smart. I mean, I've been kind of in the industry for years, and yeah, I mean, you nailed it on the head. I mean, the drag racing motorcycles is the smallest niche of probably motorcycles,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and then realistically, the biggest part of drag racers are bracket racers, and we broke. Like we can't buy a lot of stuff.
No matter what the budget is, it's still you gotta get the mass of the people.
Yep.
Whether
for sure.
you're I have some customers that are saving up to spend $200 on an ECU flash, and I have some customers with no budget. But like I
Yep.
said, you have to have all of them to make it work.
That kind of leads to what me and Ben talk about a lot on here, and that's just having fun. No matter
Oh,
what your
of
budget
course.
is, have a good time. If your bike's bone stock, go ride it. Go have a good time. You know what I mean? So
For sure. And that's the cool thing about the roll race stuff is, like I said, you get to go do it more often, and you may go out with 10 friends and you may get to put them 3 and 4 wide.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. A lot of drag racers hate on roll racing, and they say it's dumb and takes no skill. And they're
Well,
definitely wrong. Okay.
I've
Because
watched you ride the new bike, the Hyperbusa, and that
Yeah.
thing is sketch-tacular. Like like I know that yours is wicked up, right? It ain't going to be what Cecil pushes out when they do the build bikes, but that thing is a monster. Like I can just tell by watching you ride it, like it is a handful.
Yeah, it's definitely a monster. And we were testing it the day before. I hadn't put the camera mount on it yet. And long story short, the thing pulled a 5-inch high wheelie from the bottom of the belly pan at 205 miles an hour, right?
God.
And I'm just like, dude, we gotta fucking back this thing down. I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna kill me. So like I go out there and I'm like fucking boom, boom, boom. It's rolling off the gears and it hits fifth, and I get out there and I'm like, and it's like, I mean, just about to rip my hands out of the handlebars, and it starts to wheelie, and I'm like, fuck, I let off the gas, and I'm like, fuck, I was so mad at myself. I'm like, you pussy, I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, I literally slow it down. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to turn it around, do it again. So I literally go back up the road, come back down through there, do the same thing. Hit fifth gear, fucking wheelies again. And I'm like, dude, I'm out. I'm like, this motherfucker's going to kill me.
Yeah, that thing, like the videos, I mean, don't do it justice. I mean, even
No,
Big Country,
dude,
he made a pull on it.
That was the turn down thing, because like, literally I was just like, I see, so I was like, we just got to go down the road. I was like, I can't, the thing is too, I was like, I just want to make a solid pass to, to try to showcase some of what it can do,
Yeah.
And
Man, I'll tell you what.
I got to get a better steering dampener for it. I just got to get, a few little things that I had to touch on.
It's a work in progress.
The first time ever on the road with the bike.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was quite insane.
Yeah, that was impressive for sure.
Oh yeah, I love that video. That's a nasty deal right there. Like,
yeah, and I plan on taking it to the actual drag strip here in the next 2 weeks, really, to get some quarter-mile times to show people what it is capable of doing, in the quarter mile, and to see what it's going to do. But it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people are wondering why I didn't put a swing arm on it, and it's simply because that's what I wanted. I wanted a stock arm. I wanted a wild ride. You know what I mean? Because I got bikes like Melania. Okay, yeah, it's fun to ride, but man, it's a full-time job to go work on it 24/7 and to go fast. In other words, it takes a team. Well, I was like, man, I want one bike that's a complete monster that I can go run every Thursday night at my local track and put on a show.
Yeah.
Well, this thing is going to do it, because I'm going to be able to, I got a Gen 2 clutch. I got a 2-step. I'm going to leave with it blowing fire on the 2-step. I'm going to go through the finish line on the back tire, and I'm never going to push the motor. In other words, because it's stock wheelbase,
it can't take it. Yeah.
The chassis can't take enough horsepower to tear it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll have a blast with this thing, just going to ride it every week. And I'm like, I can hit the scramble button and pick the front tire up anytime I want to.
That's my favorite part of that build is your clutch. So of course, in the sport that I'm in, we get those haters. Street ET don't need a Gen 2. You can't ride on the street. I'm like, well, Chris Moore is. He's got a turbo bike with big power, riding it on the road, going to just cruising with his brother.
Cruising. Yeah, man. That thing, I got it set up really nice. It drives literally like a stock clutch. And
just don't kill your hand. You can have soft setup to ride.
It literally feels just like a stock clutch.
Yeah,
I've got the drivability. I got all that stuff working. It's full flex fuel, so you go pump gas, E85, whatever they sell at the gas station, you squirt that shit in there and it'll run.
I know around here it's hard to find E85 sometimes, so that's good to have.
Yeah, it's really cool. So like I said, I'm my goal was to be able to take it for 8th mile racing. Pump E85 is all my chassis will ever hold. In other words, I can run for $3 a gallon. I can go put pump E85 in this thing and race it every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And be fast.
The gas, I ain't got to do nothing, dude.
Yep.
And I can make 450, 500 horsepower on pump E85.
Yeah, man, I know aside from your, that new boost and everything, you've been wheeling on the drag strip and stuff for years, but damn, I'll tell you, if people have never wheelied in high gear on a high horsepower bike, it happened to me one time on my real street bike, the biggest thing is when you don't expect it. And that son of a bitch pulled up in 6th gear going through the traps one night when we was qualifying, I don't know, 2 years ago. It scared the shit out of me. I wasn't so certain I didn't shit myself.
Yeah, that's when they feel good. I love that.
Yeah, I wasn't
Guys,
used to it.
I'm too fat. I can't relate.
Oh yeah. Well, hey,
It
it
takes
is
a lot
what
of
it
power.
is. Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to find some more horsepower, don't I?
Well, I think Eric had that thing wicked up that night.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you guys got to get going soon, so if you guys want to wrap it up, we want to get y'all on again because we could literally talk to both of y'all for hours. But before we wrap it up, why don't you guys shout out, anybody you want to shout out, any sponsors, any tell the listeners some giveaways you guys have going on here soon, and just kind of promote your brand.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you having us on for sure. We would like to thank a lot of our sponsors. Of course, we've got Brock's Performance, Montgomery Motorsports, BST Wheels, Worldwide Ceramic Bearings, Penske Shocks, Dunlop Tires, Vortex Sprockets. Got a lot of them. And we work hand in hand with a lot of other companies too. We just got Insta360 cameras. That we got a lot of affiliate companies that we work with,
right,
that have really stepped up to help more Mafia out. We're also working with a new brand of fuel that's going to be coming soon. That deal's not finalized yet, but I got some new fuel coming out that is going to be really cool. A little more economical friendly, but still gains good horsepower for the street ET guys,
nice.
And for the street race guys. So that's coming soon. A lot of stuff going on. I do have a giveaway going on my 2023 ZX10R that starts March 31st. Now, you cannot buy a spot until March 31st at 7 p.m. There's only going to be 300 spots. Once those 300 are sold, then it's going to be, closed, and we're going to draw for the winner at that point. Well, it may take 5 minutes. It may take 5 hours. However long it takes, those spots are only going to be for sale for that amount of time.
Yeah. So people need to start saving their pennies for that because they got a month to save up for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's in about 30 days from now. You'll be able to get in on that. And then I just started this week. We just started doing a weekly giveaway, and I'm going to start doing small items. So, like, for instance, this week I have a set of Bridgestone RS11 tires for like a GSX-R 1000 or something. And you can enter to win those tires for 99 cents.
That's awesome.
Literally, it starts on Monday. It ends on Friday. You can buy as many spots as you like, but if you only buy one spot, 99 cents. That's all it costs to get in. Somebody's going to win the tires. So we start the giveaway on Monday. we close it on Friday, and somebody's going to own those tires on Sunday. And then Monday, we're going to start a new giveaway, and it may be for a Insta360 camera. It may be for a new helmet of your choice, all kind of different things. But I'm going to do them, $5 and less, basically, to get in.
Don't fret the R word. Ben can put a tiger roar over it.
No, I told Dustin yesterday, I love that idea because when we decided to do the podcast, like we were like, should we charge people? And we're like, hell no, we'll never get any listeners. So obviously you can listen to the podcast on all the major platforms for free. But what we decided to do is basically the similar thing to what you're talking about. Because as long as anybody signs up on either our Patreon website or, the actual Red Hill Racing website for just $1, I mean, they can do more if they want, but they're entered in all our giveaways. And we've been pleasantly surprised how many people have signed up for that. And we've had some great sponsors, donate and give us prizes for that. So I think that's a great idea. I think you're going to have a lot of success with that. And
for sure,
all the listeners need to go.
And who don't want a set of tires for 99 cents?
I'm probably going to sign up. Can I sign up?
Even if you don't, yeah, of course. And even if you don't need tires, it's like 99 cents, dude. Yeah. Somebody is going to win them, and they're going to have 99 cents because I'm even covering the shipping to get them to your house.
Can't beat that, man. That's awesome.
I'm gonna sign up after we sign off this, and I'll be selling those tires for $100 the next day.
It's still somebody's getting a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
Tires are expensive now. Like this set of RS11s, they're like $250 for the rear and like $200 for the front. So this is like a $450 value.
Speaking of that, they need to go sign up when that starts. They need to get on that deal. We need to get
on.
about 5 or 6.
You can sign up for it right now.
Mooremafia.com.
I got a whole giveaways page where you go and you click on it. It's real simple.
Outstanding. Awesome. They need to get on there.
Mooremafia.com. What other channels?
And go to the giveaway page, and it'll pop up right there. Basically, you're buying a digital download of Melania wallpaper for your computer.
Perfect. We'll definitely link to that.
Hey, one thing we need to add to the More Mafia website is Big Country apparel.
Hey, dude, it's coming, dude. It's coming. He told everybody if he got 2,500 subscribers or something, he was getting the Big Country wear. And it is coming soon, dude.
I was asking Ben, I was like, I wonder if he buys those shirts or if he cuts them off himself and makes them the little belly shirts.
They were custom, but
those are one of a kind, handcrafted.
Yeah, that's right. That's what's up.
Man, that could be a good giveaway for you, Big Country. That's do a custom one of your custom shirts and sign that.
Country custom. There you go.
Exactly. But no, we got all that merch is being designed literally right now. We're hoping to have it up and rolling here in the next week or two.
Outstanding.
Perfect. Well, do you guys just want to shout out your Instagrams and YouTubes and whatever real quick for the listeners? And like I said, we'll try and link to everything when we get this posted tomorrow. But why don't you go ahead and shout it out for the listeners?
Yeah, so if you're looking for Big Country, I got entertainment and laughter for you.
All right.
Instagram is at Big Country More Mafia, and on YouTube handle at Big Country. That's Big Country with a K.
That's right.
That's right.
And then of course my Instagram is at Chris More Mafia, and then the YouTube is just More Mafia.
Man, you're gonna have to pay Country some royalties. I'm just saying.
He gets all kind of royalties. I haul him around.
Old lady's always feeding them
for free.
My favorite part of one of your videos is like when he was getting ready, he was stirring the food up. He was like, "This is my favorite part." You slowed it down. I was like, "Me too."
We can relate.
All right, guys. Well, we'll let you go.
Hey,
we know
man.
you got more important shit to do than talk to an old hillbilly and a redneck. So we look forward to watching everything you guys have coming up. And thanks again for joining us. We'll get y'all on again down the road because we can talk for hours. I know that.
We hope to see you guys soon at the racetrack. I don't know what exactly our schedule is this year. We're just going to hit whatever races look big, that month and fit our schedule. You know what I mean?
For sure.
When it's the cool thing about what we do, when it's 98 degrees and it looks like shitty conditions, guess what? I ain't going. So
it's time for the boats.
That's it, dude. We're just having fun. So we kind of go, if I'm in the racing mood and the weather looks perfect, I'll be there. If not, I'll catch you another day. So
I call that a seasonal racer, and ain't nothing wrong with it.
No, man. We did it a couple years ago, and it beats you up so much I stay so busy with work. It wore us out, and it got us where we didn't like racing, because it was so much like a job.
Yep.
And now we're just fun racers, and we'll be there when we get there.
Awesome.
That's awesome. It's good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, guys. Thanks again for
having
joining
us on. You guys have a good night, and thanks for everybody for listening.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you.